great Braylon Edwards and, of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into Ermanni Networks with Maz. Ryan Ermanni won't be joined with us today. We send him prayers and help for his family. See you later, big guy. Take care of business and the family first. That being said, we got the main man right here. This is the man that makes everything happen at Woodward Sports. None other than Sam Day, a.k.a. Stick.
Hey, what's
going
up,
on, my guy? How you
Great to have
feeling?
a good show with you, man. We haven't done a show in a while.
It's been a while.
It's always good energy. I know Mama Braylon's always watching.
You know she's listening. You're one of her favorites, so she'll be extremely happy that you're on the show today. You got a chance to see her when we did the softball not too long ago.
Yeah, now you avenged us.
You guys won the championship.
We won the championship.
That was the last time we did the show.
No, but Braylon came out first at bat, hits a rope line drive right off the fence.
I thought it was going out.
I thought it was too, man. I was like, this guy. Of course.
I was like slow walking.
The ringer. Right.
It's so funny. It went from a home run to almost just a single. I was able to somehow get
the bat flip cost you some time.
It was like Kerry Carpenter. My hamstring was hurting a little bit. I couldn't necessarily get it out, but I was able to get a double. With that said, I know this is Detroit. Tom Mazaway, KG, Pete. Get to you guys. I know we talk about the Lions, and it's all about them as it should be. But, man, the Jets made a move today.
Not going to help them.
Jets, and I was a day late and a dollar short because they lost last night to the Buffalo Bills. But they got Davonte Adams. They got one of Aaron's guys through the course of his career. I'm just extremely excited. Davonte Adams has been my favorite wide receiver in the league the last 5-6 years. Allen Lazard ain't it. And I know he caught a Hail Mary last night. And I know Aaron roped one in there yesterday. It was an amazing pass that he caught. I don't know how Aaron got that pass in there. The one that he caught behind the defender, man. You know what I'm talking about? With that being said, you need a guy. You need a dude. You add Davonte Adams to Garrett Wilson. I think it makes it that much easier for this offensive line to protect. So my Jets, they're in good hands. But enough about that. Tom Mazaway, how you doing?
I'm doing good. They found out last night at 12:30. Aaron Rodgers, that's when he found out. He said on the Pat McAfee show today, he did his hit, and all of a sudden you see him go like this. And Davonte comes sneaking by. Did you see that picture?
Yeah,
I'll show it again. He wasted no time getting over there.
They're happy. Davonte was on the red eye from Vegas at midnight last night, and he was already in Jersey this morning.
Can he kick?
No, Greg. Listen,
that's the other thing.
That's who they should have called.
He's also not an offensive lineman, which, oh my God, the offensive line is so bad.
I've been calling for a new kicker for 3 weeks now. Greg Zuerlein is horrible. He used to be Greg the Leg. Now he is Greg the Shank.
He's good if you talk about
Greg the Shank.
It's over for him.
The post.
But that's the Jets' fault. How do you not replace this guy? You know he's bad. He cost them the game. Last night, not Mike Williams. He sucks, though. Yeah, but Greg Zuerlein cost him the game. And he missed a field goal in London as well. There's no reason that this guy should have a job today. And I know kickers are hard to get. Just get a guy that you could depend on. Look what Washington did. They went out and they got Austin Seibert. The guy kicked 7 field goals. He was in camp for a cup of coffee. He went out and kicked 7 field goals for the win.
All I know is they can't have Jake Bates.
Jake Bates
can't have him.
Listen,
not happening.
Can he make a kick down the middle? I mean,
does it matter?
Every kick he makes, I think he missed.
Does it matter though?
I'm happy for him.
It doesn't until it does.
Right.
It doesn't until it does.
Whatever, man. Get a kicker, Jets. Mike Williams. I'll see you.
Last thing I'll say about the Jets, because this is the Lions show and I don't want to get people pissed off. It's just like the Detroit Tigers. When you remove negative energy, and listen, I don't want to diss Mike Williams. Like, he's a phenomenal receiver when he was healthy with the Chargers. But there's just energy. And you see him on the field, the attitude, the energy just does not seem to be right. You look at Breece Hall and some of the other players that are, they're going to be locked and loaded. They don't necessarily seem right. The energy looks off with the New York Jets. It's nothing like new blood. And that new blood is Davonte Adams. He wanted to get out of the Raiders. He wanted to get somewhere where he can compete. All that hard effort that he gives to the Raiders, he didn't want it to be in vain. And I think now he's in New York. He's got Aaron. You got a team that they're not that far out of first place in a horrible division this year, so we'll see what happens.
I mean, you probably watched the Receiver show on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
And you grow some love for those guys when you watch them, all of them, because you get to see them more as humans. And Davonte Adams deserved better than what happened to him in Oakland or where the hell are they now?
In
Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, in Vegas. I mean, that's. So, like, you're watching the guy, and he goes there because he wants to play with his old college quarterback, right? Then they ship him off, and he's stuck with Aiden O'Connell. And that ain't happening. So, yeah, I'm happy for Davonte Adams. He's a good wide receiver, probably one of the best in the game, one of the best route runners. That's not
Ever,
debatable.
yeah.
So, yeah, happy for him. But what I'm also happy about, maybe a fire sale going on in Vegas, baby. Because didn't Max Crosby say if they trade him, we're a package deal?
Yes.
Wasn't that a quote that I heard out of Max?
He said it twice.
That is correct.
He said it last year during the season. Now he's doubled down again this season.
Well, they didn't package him, Max, but you could still get the hell out of town. Oh, I got a spot for you.
Come back home.
Come on, baby.
We got a spot. I actually wanted to talk about that. I guess we can just tie it all in. Yesterday, I didn't get a chance to join you guys, so sorry I missed yesterday. I had a sleep study consultation set up. So next Wednesday night, I got to do a sleep study. I'm kind of weirded out about spending the night at a lab, like a lab rat.
Yeah.
But it is
all kinds of stuff stuck to you.
Bionic
100%. But it is necessary for things that I have to deal with at night. With that being said, I didn't get a chance to talk about the injury on Sunday. That was Aiden Hutchinson. I know you guys are probably tired of talking about it. Your stomach is still in knots from what it was. It was a horrific injury. We did see surgery went well. Glad to hear that. He gave us the thumbs up via tweets and videos, and we have some sound from Dan Campbell. But the immediate conversation, do you go out and get somebody? You talked about Max Crosby. A lot of people I'm hearing, homegrown. A lot of people are, you recruit from within. Brad Holmes, trust the draft picks, trust the things and the people that he's brought in. I'm coming in with new energy, and I'm coming in hot. Bull, you know what? We got to go out and get a guy. If that guy is Max Crosby, if that guy is Trey Hendrickson, if that guy is Myles Garrett, if that guy is insert guy here, Hassan Reddick, not necessarily so sure about. Thank you on that one. But you got to get somebody. And the reason why is this. This is Super Bowl year.
That's right.
This does not happen often.
Tell 'em,
for
Braylon.
any franchise, especially this franchise. Not to mention, before the season started, what were we saying about the D-line? He needs another guy. He needs another guy. We were saying that when Aiden Hutchinson was on the team.
Yep.
We said that when Aiden Hutchinson was having the best year of a defensive end in this league this year. We still said, if we could just get him a guy. Now that that guy is gone for the season, we think, you mean to tell me you're going to recruit from within to get to the Super Bowl? I'm not buying it. They got to go get a guy stick.
Yeah, I mean, you've been in locker rooms with teams that are close, right?
Yeah.
When you went to the Jets, you guys went to the AFC Championship game. That team was definitely
Back-to-back years.
close.
Yeah. And,
So
and
you
to your
know
point,
what it feels like when you're looking around to the 52 other men in that locker room, and you're like, guys, we're this close. We need something else in this locker room.
Yeah.
And as a team, like you said, Davonte Adams, he may not fix the Jets' problem, but he's going to at least breathe some extra life into him. After a loss like that, if you bring in another dog, that whole team's getting lifted, right, Braylon?
Yeah, 100%.
Offense and defense.
It's funny you bring up the Jets. In 2009, when I played for them, we were the third best defense in the league at the end of the season. When I got traded, they finished third overall in defense. You know what they did in the offseason, Stick? They went on and got Antonio Cromartie. They went on and got Jason Taylor. They went on and got we already were third, and you go out and get you double down and you triple down, and then we added LaDainian Tomlinson on offense. So you got to put yourself in a assured spot so that you can get to that to the dream, and the dream and the goal is the Super Bowl. Dan Campbell did talk about that surgery that Hutch had down there in Irvine. I think we have that right now. This is Hutch.
Sure, you know, I know that there was an update with Hutch and his surgery. Surgery went great. Which is all good news. I kind of mentioned this yesterday, but, man, Hutch is a captain for us, highly productive player, great teammate, does everything right, and was having one hell of a game, one hell of a season. And so, look, that it hurts. It hurts to lose somebody like him, not only the player, but the person that's in that locker room, the leader that he is. But that being said, listen, we move forward. And let me say this before I get to what I was just saying. Look, it's 4 to 6 months. I would never count Hutch out, ever. So, yeah, probably, long road, but I would never count him out. And I would say if anybody can make it back, it'd be him.
And when you say not counting him out, look, man, he's a tremendous talent. He's a tremendous player. He's actually gone through this before, University of Michigan in 2020. But you're talking about somebody that is going to be your franchise, somebody that's going to be here a very long time. I don't want Aiden Hutchinson to ever play for another franchise, and I'm sure they don't either. Don't rush him back. Maz, the only player I can think of is two players that come to mind when you talk about this type of situation. There's Rod Woodson, and the reason why that comes to mind is because Barry shook him up at the Pontiac Silverdome, tore his ACL, then came back that year, played in the Super Bowl, and obviously T.O. Hairline fracture in his ankle, and he did come back. What are your thoughts, Maz, when Dan Campbell's at the podium, he's talking about don't count this guy out, Aiden Hutchinson, 4 to 6 months. What are your immediate thoughts?
I believe in him. I believe what he's saying. I believe we had Dr. Pierce yesterday. He was on Big D Energy today. He's going to get a lot of hardware in that leg. That leg is going to become strong again. And this guy's work ethic is second to none. You saw how he got his body ready every single year, come up with new moves this year. Going back to my days of watching football, Jack Youngblood of the Rams, Hall of Famer, he played with a broken leg in the entire playoff season. He played right through the Super Bowl with a broken leg. Joe Klecko of the Jets, the Sack Exchange, your guys, the Jets.
100%.
He played with a broken leg as well. But these are the old warriors. This is the new time. And we brought it up yesterday. Terrell Owens is the guy that you think of. Perfect. Kept his body in perfect working condition. Said he'd be back and played his heart out in that Super Bowl.
Fracture, though.
And
hairline fracture is very different.
This is a disaster. What happened to him? And I just want to ask you: you saw the leg swing back and it hit Penei Sewell's. What are the odds on that happening? I mean, I've never seen anything like that, like swinging your leg back and hitting Penei. Thank God. I think it was Penei.
It was a Lee McNeil.
I'm sorry. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, we know what you meant.
And I could. Thank God it wasn't a double knockout.
Right.
I mean,
then it was like
how does that happen?
No,
Spenny's reaction, I thought, was the closest thing I'd seen to it, and it was Anderson Silva, the UFC fighter, when he kicked and the guy leg checked him, and his leg just snapped over it like that. So it's happening. You got to create a lot of force to do it. Actually, when we were out yesterday, a guy came up to me and he brought up the fact that Aiden was limping a little bit in the first half. And he thought maybe it was already kind of, maybe he had a hairline fracture. That something like that may have compounded it and made it even worse. I went back to watch the Lions game last night. I didn't get a chance to watch the entire thing. So I want to focus on Aiden. But, man, when I was rewatching the game, just knowing that I don't get to see 97 in that motor for a whole 4 to 6 months it really is heartbreaking.
We were robbed.
It really is, because you're you're watching the first half knowing that there isn't going to be any more Aiden Hutchinson. And it was not to the extreme of at a funeral when you're watching the recap. But it felt like that, oh my gosh.
And he was peaking this season. That's why I say we were robbed. He was on his way to taking that next step, and it's a shame we won't be able to see
Amari
high
Cooper
finishes.
to the Bills coming through. Hot news.
Well, that's actually
he escaped from Cleveland.
That makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense because we were talking about it, and I thought Davonte Adams. I said that Buffalo was the place that I thought he should go. You get him with Josh Allen, it immediately turns the narrative right there in Buffalo. You saw him last night. They just can't get anybody downfield.
Both teams on Monday Night Football make a deal for a wide receiver
because neither team really had a guy going. They could have some short success. A pass here to Garrett Wilson, a pass there to Keon Coleman, but neither one of those guys were breaking for either one of those teams. Immediately when it happened, you're looking at what this team is. What this season is. It's a Super Bowl season. Aiden Hutchinson goes down. And then instantly the thoughts are, is this team still a Super Bowl team? Where is this team? Where is this team in the grand landscape of the NFC and the chance to get to the Super Bowl? A lot of people asking Dan Campbell that same question. Here's Dan Campbell answering that question. Are they still a Super Bowl team without Hutch?
Listen, my job is to coach what's here, and I'm going to coach the hell out of them, and we are as a staff. And so, yeah, I do. And if we get somebody, great. If we don't, these are our guys, and the coaches know that. This is what we came into camp with. This is why we develop talent, and it's the next man up. They got to be ready to go.
Stick, I'm going to come to you, and I'm glad, and I'm cool with the next man up. Rah, rah, rah. It all sounds good. Before we talk about bringing someone in, this team that is currently constructed with not bringing anybody in, bring Justin Houston or elevating somebody, whatever, where is this team at for you in the NFL now? Exactly where they are now. No Aiden Hutchinson, but they still obviously have a damn good team.
I don't see this as a step back at all.
If you don't add anybody, you don't see them. You still see them as a Super Bowl winner.
I still see them as a Super Bowl contender. I mean, winner is a tough thing to declare for any team. I'll never say a team. I'll say contender.
Okay,
yeah, and this was the question we asked immediately after. And Dan Campbell was on the flagship station this morning too, doing his weekly interview. He's like,
"What station is that?"
Oh, the flagship.
Yeah.
And they said, he was like, "What are we supposed to do? Just stop playing?
Drop an L.
Just stop playing." Just stop playing,
Right.
and that's it. No, you don't. And I'm on the post-game show. I said Brad Holmes has built this team to be bigger than any one man. Even though Aiden Hutchinson is as close to that dude as you can't lose as possible, it's him and Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Everybody else you can survive without. Right? That's the way I feel about those two players specifically. But you also got to look at this isn't the same defense as last year. If you would have said last year's defense, heck no. They become the very worst because now not only do you have a suspect secondary, you can't get a pass rush. It's a little bit different this year. I love the rebuilt secondary. I think they're improving week by week, game by game, play by play even. You're seeing with TA getting better and better and better. So as a collective, yes, they've taken a small step back. Big step back as far as pressures on the quarterback. But you also know the ability of Brad Holmes guys and Dan Campbell guys to play within the system and for those guys to get the very best out of their players. So I'm not saying it's possible to replace Aiden Hutchinson. We all know that is impossible unless you're bringing out a Watt out of retirement or something like that. You're not replacing the productivity of Aiden Hutchinson. But team-wise, they can scheme. They can find ways to get pressure. The interior defensive line is a lot better than it was last year. So, you're going to start seeing more stunts probably with Reeder, and that can pick up some slack. So, as far as everybody being like, "Oh, Hutchin's out, this team's over," I don't like that mentality. I don't believe that mentality. And if Brad Holmes elects not to bring somebody in because he thinks he's got pieces in-house that can fill that gap, who am I to question Brad Holmes?
Hey, yesterday when Dan Campbell was talking, he basically said, We got guys. He said, this guy's here. Hey, James Houston's still here as of the front. Today they signed practice squad player from Cincinnati, Isaiah Thomas.
Yay, Zeke.
All right, defensive end. So Zeke is now a Lion. So there you have it. We'll see if they do anything else. Don't hold your breath, though.
Braylon, what do you think, though? Do you think they need a dude, or do you think collectively they can fill the gap?
No, they need a dude because as it stands right now, I love the team. I love how they've gotten better. The defense is much improved from last year. The secondary, Brian Branch. I mean, I can't wait to get to Brian Branch and talk about the player that he's going to be in this league. But they need a guy. Like, if you don't have Aiden Hutchinson, who allows those pressures, who allows those quarterbacks to start to think about 97 off the right, now you got quarterbacks making bad passes, bad decisions. It leads to other players getting involved. DJ Reeder, Aleem McNeil. Like, when you don't have that, it doesn't necessarily happen like that. I think currently, this is me, I think without Aiden Hutchinson, they have now gone to the number 2 team in their own division.
Okay.
And that's not bad because the team that's in front of them is arguably 2-3 in the league as of right now.
And I will argue against myself a little bit because when you look at numbers, and numbers are an important part, they're not everything. There is nuance, Flannel Sam, but there is nuance to numbers. But Aiden Hutchinson's win rate is 17%. The rest of the defensive line's win rate, anybody want to guess?
2.
Not that good.
6%.
Sheesh.
And Aleem McNeil is that guy.
But no, that's collectively. Like, so
but he's got most of them.
When you're dropping
Aiden
down
on the
11% of snaps, that is quite the difference. But that being said, like, they're going to utilize other players. They're going to run different stunts. Maybe they blitz more. Maybe they bring Brian Branch in like they did against the Buccaneers
They're gonna need
and send him off the edge more. Like, there's ways to do this.
100%. Like, no, now, they don't all of a sudden become a non-playoff team, any dumb stuff like that. They're still a team that's probably going to win this division, contend for this division, and contend once they get in the playoffs, depending if they make a move or not. You get DJ Reeder more involved. You bring in Malcolm Rodriguez, and you allow Jack Campbell to blitz a little more. Last year, Jack Campbell, when they wanted to blitz with him, they added Malcolm Rodriguez to the party. So you'll see some of that. But, Maz, it reminds me of the San Francisco 49ers. Every time that the 49ers didn't make it to the Super Bowl in the last 6 years, you know who didn't play? It's Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
It's Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa being injured, they don't get to the playoffs. They don't get to the NFC Championship. When Nick Bosa is healthy, they get to that dance. I just think that you're replacing a lot when you're talking about the best pass rusher in the game, at least as of right now. That's tough. KG, what are your thoughts on that? I want to get you involved in the combo.
I want to make 2 points because I feel like the answer lies in the middle here. To Stick's point, last year, the Lions had one of the worst secondaries, arguably the worst secondary in the NFL. On top of that, they had the same problem that they had this year.
Yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson, no pass rush on the opposite side. And what did they do? They got to the NFC Championship game.
But they still had Aiden Hutchinson.
No, that is true. That is true. So just, before I get started, I do want the Lions to make a move here because when you look at this thing as a whole, Marcus Davenport went down as well, and that's something we keep forgetting about.
This is true.
Both of your starting edge rushers are now down for the year. Yeah. And if you want to throw Kyle Pecco in that mix, you can throw him in that mix. You're missing him too. So I do feel like you need to make a move in order to keep this train rolling and stay in the Super Bowl picture because they have enough to be a playoff team. But if you want to get to that ultimate goal, you got to have a guy there. But I just don't want to mortgage all of the future, and I guess that's dependent on what guy that you get. If it's a Max Crosby, maybe I consider 2 first-round picks. If it's Myles Garrett, maybe I consider that. But you don't want to mortgage the complete future because your GM's best attribute is drafting players.
Yeah, and you talk about the team. You talk about the guys, the defensive line. Look, do you believe in them? Well, here's Dan Campbell talking about his faith in his defensive line.
Now, what gives me hope moving forward is Aaron Glenn. All right, we've been coaching here, man, 4 years, and he's done everything in his power to work around any personnel we have and use the players that we have and get the most production we can, and we will be able to adapt to that. I have a lot of faith in that D-line room. Mac and Levi and Reeder, and Pascal, and that group that's going in there, Ukwu, we got Muhammad on practice squad, Agude, Houston's still here. So we got options, and it's why we play with 3 phases. So we play offense, defense, special teams. That's why we do it, and we help each other out. So we'll be just fine. We're going to move forward, and I'll kind of leave it.
A lot of people had something to say about him adding Justin Houston last after the practice squad guy and after the guys that are starting. Do you make a lot of that, Maz, him listing Houston last, or is it just, 1, he listed the starters, the guys that are immediate impact, and then 2, he listed guys that just signed the dotted line?
No, he meant it.
Okay.
James Houston has definitely fallen out of favor. I mean, you don't hear him, you don't see him. He's an afterthought. And this was a guy that us, Lion fans, all of us, were saying, oh, yeah, he's going to come back. Those 8 sacks, man. He got hurt last year. He's coming back strong this year. He ain't. He's nowhere to be seen. I would love for him to be able to be put into this lineup, a homegrown guy that they drafted, and see him do what he did 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like it's happening. And they go out and they get practice squad guys, and I really don't believe that they're going to go out and get that name you guys really want. I just don't see it. With like Kenny said, they look forward to April. They look forward to that draft more than anything.
Yeah, the season that Justin Houston had his 8 sacks, that was 2021.
Yeah, James Houston.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
James
Justin
Houston.
used to be great.
I'll
take Justin.
2022, he had 8 sacks.
right.
2022.
He got hurt last year in the Seahawks game, broke his leg or broke something.
Yep.
And then this year,
So when they went 9-8.
yes.
9-8. Okay, I was just thinking about.
Yeah.
He was part of that surge at the end of the season, and you were like, "Oh my gosh, they found their guy, a 5th-round pick. Oh, too bad we don't have him locked up for those 4 years."
I wonder if he got too big for his britches. And the reason why I asked that question is we had him on the show. We had him on the show last year before last year's season. I think we had him on the show around May or June. And he talked about having 22.5 sacks. He talked about having 23 sacks, if I remember correctly. Man.
Yeah.
He said, why not? He said, I had 8.5 last year and so many games. He said, I can do it. I'm not going to say it rubbed me the wrong way because I appreciate confidence. Trust me. I
but
don't,
not ignorance.
Right.
Yeah,
I'll say it for you.
I appreciate that.
He played for Dion. He was going to be confident.
Listen, Baldinger did a whole breakdown on James Houston, how good he is. Look how low he gets. Look at this. You can't stop this. And then he went. But
what Baldinger didn't say was that this was his every down, every play move. Like, this is what he's doing. Like, the thing about the NFL or pro sports, they get that film on you.
Oh, yeah.
They understand they're able to understand leverage. And all the guy wants to do is dip, get down. If you don't have anything else, there's been plenty of guys that come in with that, that one move, a great move. But then you got to develop that second thing because the offensive linemen do get that film. They can't put their hand on you and they can't stop you. So I just wonder if he kept working at his craft, or did he allow that natural gifted ability to be his calling card?
Yeah, the Kenny Galladay syndrome, right?
Oh my God!
Oh God!
Don't get me started on
that's
that.
What I don't know if you know him
Northern
personally,
Illinois
but from my understanding, when Kenny Galladay had a little bit of success in Detroit, dude started putting on the buffs, the gold chains, walking in the locker room like he was Ric Flair and demanding a ton of money. I mean, and everybody was like, they gotta re-sign Galladay. You gotta re-sign him. But went to New York, and the rest is history. We have not heard from Kenny Galladay since.
Northern Illinois.
But the dude got paid.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude got paid. I can't blame him.
Yeah,
if I got paid like that, I'd be walking around with buffs and chains on too, even if I was no damn good.
Yeah.
So,
Don't let me catch him on 7 Mile Illinois.
I don't think that's James Houston's problem,
touch
though.
him up. And that's what was
I just don't think he's the same coming back from injury, man. And then you look at training camp this year, they tried to play him at linebacker. They were trying to do different things with him, and it just didn't work out. And now you haven't seen him at all this season. I got to feel like the coaching staff maybe gave up on him, because why else haven't you seen him to this point? You were expecting a lot of good things from him.
And this also is the question why. You look at that coaching staff. That coaching staff has stayed with a lot of players and getting a lot of players right. They stayed with Malcolm Rodriguez. There's countless Derek Barnes.
Yep.
There's countless guys on this team that you've seen the line. Jameson Williams.
There you go.
You see the
J-Mo.
line just stay with and say, hey, this is the culture. You know, we're going to get you right. If you want to do this, we'll take the time and get you right. The fact that you haven't seen him, the fact that he's the last name, and the fact that you know this is a coaching staff that's conducive of bringing the best out of players, it just makes one ask the question.
But he's on the roster, so they must like him.
Yeah, they know it's in there.
Yeah. So if they like him, and I hear Dan Campbell sticking it to him like he did, maybe this week is what you see, James Houston.
Dan Campbell was really sticking it to him. I don't think Dan Campbell's that type of dude. He doesn't send sneak
Dan
shots.
Campbell, yeah, he does.
Because
if you remember back
in J-Mo.
he did
It wasn't a
J-Mo.
sneak shot.
That
though.
wasn't a sneak shot to J-Mo. He said this guy's not working hard enough to get the ball. That's
Or
not
he
sneak
can't
shot.
catch.
That's,
That's sticking it.
that's straight up.
But that's saying something. In other words, the guy don't say anything unless he means it. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, listen.
And Houston.
As we learned against the Cowboys, they got a little petty to them.
Oh, yeah, big fact.
These boys keep things in the back of their mind, and what they did to the Cowboys.
47 points, and they didn't take their foot off the gas.
Poor ESPN. They've been forced to have a memorandum for Jerry Jones on his birthday. But I tweeted out yesterday, at least they're finally able to talk about the Lions.
Yeah.
That's a stroke fest on the Cowboys.
I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind how they had to talk about the Lions. I just love that they're talking about the Lions and watching that death march back through the locker room after the game with Jerry Jones and the rest of the squad and his son and his cronies.
They cooked.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody look that pissed. They didn't. I didn't even know what the emotion was. That's just defeat.
Embarrassment.
That is defeat.
Wait till you hear
Embarrassment.
Jerry Jones today. I've got something to play you guys.
Lashing out.
Maybe when we come back from the break.
Lashing out.
When you were playing, was there ever a moment when a team, whether it was your team or another team, was there that disrespect of man, that they know they beat us, but they're still piling on? Or you guys were like, we already got these dudes, but what they said 3 years ago, we got to stop them.
Yeah, no, 100%. And we'll go to a break after this. I still want to stick with the Lions and the Cowboys. A lot to talk about with the Lions. Still a lot of sound. Great job by you, Maz, putting the show together. In 2010, we were 9-2. And the Patriots were 9-2. We had beat the Patriots early in the year, second game of the season. They were 9-2. We were 9-2. It's Monday Night Football. This is the battle for the division. This is the battle for the AFC at the time. So we're like, all right. They beat our ass 49-3, and it just didn't stop. I'm talking about interceptions for touchdowns. Yeah, it never stopped. And if you can count 49-3, that means they put up nothing but touchdowns. There were no field goals in the equation. I think their last touchdown came with about maybe like 1:30 left in the game.
And as professionals, when you're looking around, you're like, what's going on?
What's going on is we got to ask him. But you know what? Let's take a quick break. Let's pay some of these bills. Get a message from Les Stanford.
Les Stanford. I mean, what happens when you're in business for 50 years?
Expansion.
You go for it big, and that's what Les Stanford did. And you know why they do it? Because they want to bring this to you, the customer service you deserve, the deals you deserve. They want everybody to experience it. So whether you want that Chevy, Caddy, Buick, or GMC, make sure you go to Les Stanford.
And if you want to know where the best pregame Lions party is going to be Sunday, October 27th, you can join us at Detroit's very own second best bar located at 42 Watson Street for the ultimate fan experience. Enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while catching the Woodward Sports pregame show only at the second best bar. Come get some.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness. We're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports.
Right now, more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss Insurance will make sure that your carrier is not slipping in those extra fees. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today, 313-530-1698, or head to SwissINS.com.
Friend, Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine, MichiganSportsandSpine.com. He joins Big D Energy every Tuesday. You heard him here today. You heard him on our show yesterday for that special break-in on Aiden Hutchinson. He joins us on Thursdays. Trust the guy that DMAC and Braylon trust. It's Dr. Jeff Pierce here to tell you about all of those injuries and how to avoid those injuries. Check him out at MichiganSportsandSpine.com today.
One thing about Doc, man, Doc's he's just a cool guy. Whenever you see him, he's cool, he's smooth. He just looks like a guy who, this is his town, his world. I saw him walking across Old Woodward a second ago before I did the show, and he just walks with his head in the sky, man. Gotta love Dr.
I saw him jogging the other day in Converse.
Now, that had to be funny.
I was like, wait a minute, that's Dr. Pierce.
Dr. Pierce.
That had to be funny. You know what was funny, too, was the effort in Dallas by the Dallas Cowboys, man. Let's get back to that game. They blew them out. And Maz, look, I'm going to tell you like this. I always say I told you so, but this is a good one. I just knew it. Like, this Detroit Lions team was much better than that Dallas team. They run the ball. That is the Achilles heel of the Dallas defense. You know, they weren't everything lined up for a whooping of magnanimous proportions, and that's exactly what you saw. But it was by everybody. Everybody contributed, offense, defense, and special teams, man. Just a total effort in Dallas. And
I never saw a better game for a Lions.
From start to finish, from offense to defense.
Most complete ever, yeah.
It's right there. It ranks among the best ever, and I think even got Dan Campbell got some sound about the effort of his team, the Detroit Lions.
most productive game, top to bottom, offense, defense that we've played. Details, execution on defense, 3.9 yards per play. That's huge. And then 5 takeaways. I mean, what a game. Really proud of those guys. Active, Offensively, same thing. I mean, 184 yards rushing. Quarterback played lights out. Skill guys showed up. We had 14 explosives. Once again, Demo and Gibbs, and, Saint, TP. I can go down Laporta, Leaf, and then that old line played great, man. Decker, Graham, Frank, Zeitler, and Sewell. So just a total team effort and really showed up, and I was proud of those guys.
5 takeaways, 6 sacks, 184 yards rushing, 315 yards by number 16, 3 touchdowns by number 16. Sam Laporta called a trick play. Jameson Williams had a touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a very, very, very nasty route on the route. He called a touchdown for it. David Montgomery, just the consummate guy, and then Jameer Gibbs looking explosive. Brian Branch showing you why he should have won in the first round. I mean, this is a win that shows you that you guys are ready for the big league.
Listen, I catch a lot of flack around here for not giving other teams in the league credit when they do well, because I always think the Lions can win. That game is an example of why. It doesn't matter what the Vikings are doing. It doesn't matter what the 49ers are doing. It doesn't matter what the Packers. It doesn't matter what the Bears. None of it matters. Because if the Detroit Lions play like the Detroit Lions and all the way to their potential, nobody on the planet can mess with this team. Period. End of story. So it's really not discrediting other teams. I got respect for those other teams. But what I've seen built here in this city over the past 3 years is absolutely amazing. And if the Lions play their best game, nobody can beat them. Period. End of story. No disrespect to anybody else. And that even comes with an Aiden Hutchinson injury. If the Lions still play their game, because they lost Aiden Hutchinson for pretty much the entire second half, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like they sat back and tried to run the clock out.
Right.
These boys were throwing everything. They were trying to get lineman touchdowns. Dan Skipper's lining up at wide receiver. They're having fun with the game. And they still held them to what, 3 or 6 points? So the defense, 9 for the game. So the defense, I'm talking second half only. So the defense stepped up in that second half, and this is what gets me excited. This is what gets me juiced. A game like that where everybody ate. You just said it. You ran down the list.
100%.
Everybody ate. Everybody ate. Even guys that aren't supposed to eat almost ate.
You get
Decker almost got a touchdown.
You get a stat. You get a stat.
Even though his touchdown didn't score, he's having a good time. He's laughing with the official.
I like that Dan did that. Like he legitimately trolled.
I didn't like Penny getting hit by the knee, but though.
True,
whatever,
he's a big
man.
guy.
Have
He can handle
fun.
that. He trolled Mike McCarthy. He trolled the Dallas Cowboys, and he trolled the city of Dallas and Jerry's with the whole game. I love that lights out.
He got even.
But what it also showed me is they're not scared, right?
No.
Because after the Hutch injury, KG, what was I saying? Just kneel on the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Just let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here,
It was
please.
some stupidity now. Like now, Jared Goff scared me when he was running. And I get it. He had a Hendon Hooker moment in there, and so did Jameson Williams.
Hey, mobile golf, man.
They had some Hendon Hooker moments in there.
But that's football, right? You can't be scared. If you go out there scared, you're more than likely going to get hurt, right, Braylon?
You know what? I don't mind it from that. In that case, I don't mind 9. 16, slide. Like, get down. All right, Maz, coming to you with this one. Check this out. Even after Hayden Hutchinson's injury is when everybody will say, oh, they still did this, they still did that. It was 34-6 when Hutch got hurt.
Yeah.
It was already a defeated Dallas Cowboys team completely. So I got a caution on the air of, hey, look, it looked good, but let's not act like when he got hurt, the score was 3-3 or 10-7, and then you got that. That Dallas team had already quit long before Aiden Hutchinson got hurt.
I was worried because there was 12 minutes left when Hutch got hurt, and I'm like, man, what if they go in the tank here? You know, they're going to be depressed about this. Instead,
and it was 3rd and 11 on the next play. The play in which happened after he got off the field, it was 3rd and 11.
Instead of that, they just turn it around, and they emptied the playbook. And Dan Campbell, they're like, hey, what did you do, man? You used every trick play in the book. Here's Dan Campbell.
It's a good view, right?
On in saying, man, we're using everything in our arsenal. Like we told the players that. That's the way we worked all week, and we were using it, and we were playing football, and we were pedal to the metal, and that was the whole mindset. And then our job is to every week, come back up with something more creative and find a way to continue to push the limits here. Ben does a great job in the offensive staff, and so now let's go find something else.
You know what I like about this fella, KG, bring you in on this conversation, is when I played in the league, you had a trick play. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, if you got 2 trick plays off, like, you were having a hell of a game in terms of the offensive coordinator really was taking the chance and really comfortable. Like, what the Lions did, it makes me think, how many trick plays, how many specialty plays, how many plays does Ben Johnson have for the moment? Because they emptied the book. It's game 5.
Hey.
How much does Ben Johnson have at his disposal?
They got as many as he can think of, and I promise you he's thinking of some every single week. And it ain't like we just saw it in the Cowboys game. We've seen it all year long. We've seen it last year. Ben Johnson is just that damn good. This is why he's one of the best coaches or offensive coaches in the NFL. This is why he is a future head coach in the NFL, because the way he runs offense, man, and what he's done it with Jared Goff, with Gibbs, with Monty, like you said, everybody ate in that game, man. And that's just a testament to how good Ben Johnson's play calling really is.
Hey, Pete, nobody complains on this team. Nobody complains on this offense. You look at start of the season. Let's be honest. Like, if I'm Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's getting paid how much? $30 million a year.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. And you start the season off not getting catches, not getting touchdowns. You're feeding everybody. Sam Laporta, he had the best rookie season of any tight end since Mike Ditka.
Yeah,
If I'm correct, but it just seems like they don't care. The overall goal is to win, and that's how these players play.
Well, that's based on coaching, because the coaching staff is what makes the mental part of the players comes from the coaching staff, molding it together, making the team work one as a whole, as a unit. It's kind of like the factory line here in Detroit. Everything is put together piece by piece, and you come out with one whole car. It's exactly how the Lions are operating this way, and I think that when you look at the stat book, the Lions have so much talent that they have to get everybody the ball some way. So it appears like, aside from J-Mo, who seems to be involved in every single day that the offense plays football, everybody has a little niche. It could be a Laporta day. It could be a Gibbs day. It's obviously always a Montgomery day. Yeah. But I love how the ball is moved around. Ben Johnson is doing a fabulous job keeping everybody not only happy but in harmony. It's a beautiful way to run an offense, and God help us, guys, to keep this guy after the offseason. I don't think it's going to happen, and the Lions really need an offensive coordinator like him to make this work stick.
See, I don't think he's going anywhere, man.
You don't think he's going anywhere?
Ben Johnson is happy as heck.
Right on.
In his bag, doing what he wants to do. We talked about this a little bit. I don't think he likes the minutia of worrying about clock coverage, worrying about special teams, worrying about other players' defense strategy. I think Ben Johnson is so comfortable in his own skin being the best offensive coordinator with a school of talent around him that he can use and have fun.
Right.
And it may just maybe me being a homer, but he could have gone somewhere last year.
Right.
He made it difficult. He's canceling calls out while people were on planes. He was telling them no. I think the culture is so good here. You would rather not be the general and just be a lieutenant in this army.
Yeah, no, 100%. And look, some people, it's like that, man. You look at a coach like Dick LeBeau. Dick LeBeau coached for 70 years. He's one of the best defensive coordinators we ever had. That's all he ever wanted to be. He was damn good at being a defensive coordinator, and that's all he did for the Pittsburgh Steelers as well as the Tennessee Titans. So some people are locked into that point. Now, the only job that he wanted last year was to coach Justin Herbert. Didn't get that job. Jim Harbaugh took that job. He came back here to finish what he started, and I'm glad he did for that, Pete.
Oh, I was just going to say real quick, if you didn't mind me adding about emptying the playbook as we get into this part. I think we have not seen one play, and I know that Kenny G kind of teases me about this. We have not seen the Wildcat yet. I mean, come on, man.
Monty was a high school quarterback.
I'm just saying, man, we haven't seen Sione Vaki, Gibbs, and Montgomery, all three in the backfield yet. That's the play I'm waiting for.
Gibbs and
Monty, but I mean all three. It's all three.
Braylon,
that's the play.
How much do you think emptying this playbook was knowing that the Vikings were on a bye week and they were watching the game intently, and now they're going into their practice week like, oh, my God, okay, well, all right, DBs, you got to look out for the wide receivers, but you also got to look out for the linemen. How much of that is a little bit of gamesmanship with your division rival?
Yeah, the thing that you can do, man, is you want to show your team, you want to show the opponent that you're facing next every possible look that you can show them. But this is the thing, too, though. They're not just showing them different looks. Like, there's a lot of times where you run a play and the play doesn't work, or you use a formation to set something up for the future, and teams have to say that, oh, okay, well, they do this, but this didn't necessarily work. Everything they did worked.
Right.
Even the things that didn't work still worked.
Well, and Dan Campbell was talking about a little bit of why they were doing that, too. And sometimes they call these plays, but then Goff will have to check out of them because the coverage isn't right. But this game and this time, when they called the plays, the coverage happened to be right against them. And I love the play with Penei Sewell, the hook and ladder to him. Because if you watched earlier in the game,
it works.
His natural motion on a wide receiver screen was exactly that. So the defense is programmed, okay, he's going to go out, it's a wide receiver screen. And the fact that they're using the hook and ladder as now just part of this offense, because once it's like, oh, that's fun.
It's the third time.
It's the third time, dude.
It's
like
the third time.
This is part of the offense, and it's really just going to be a part of the evolution of football if other teams pick up on it. Because as you know, the NFL it's a copycat league.
They're going to start faking it now.
There's so many things you can run off of it.
Who hit us with it when we played them, and then we came right back? It's just recently, too.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Was it the Cardinals?
Yeah, it was the Cardinals.
It was the Cardinals.
Yeah,
Cardinals,
it was.
and they scored.
Yep.
It was
the Amon-Ra to Gibbs.
Yeah, it was a big third down they converted with the Cardinals.
100%. But you know who that pissed off last week? It pissed the guy off.
It was the Seattle Seahawks.
Seahawks.
It was the Seahawks.
For the first down, though. I remember that.
Look at this guy, Maz. That's why I always ask.
Just hit me.
Even the triple flea flicker, that thing took so long to develop, but it still worked.
That's when you know you got the big guys up front. Because I tell you, the Jets tried to run a regular flea flicker last night.
Right.
The Lions say, hey, you get the pitch, you take the pitch, you take the pitch. All right, we'll give it back to Goff now. It pissed Jerry Jones off, and he wasn't too happy. We got some comments on him. Maz, you set this one up.
I will. Today, he does his weekly, like you hear Dan Campbell here on Weekly Network. Yeah. He does the same thing with the Dallas Cowboys Network. So he goes on with the flagship of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. And he goes on this morning. And, of course, they're hitting him up. And, of course, Jerry Jones is not too happy.
He bitter.
Check it out.
Listen, let me tell you what I'll do. Let me tell you what I'll do about it. I will let us sit down and look at the decisions we've made over the last several years. Okay? I'll look at it. Now, if you think I'm interested on a damn phone call with you over a radio and sitting here and throwing all the good out with the dishwater, you have got to be smoking something over there this morning. I'm not. And I really don't, and I don't even want our listeners to listen to me. To talk about, this is not your job. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well, my job is to ask why.
A job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. You're not going to figure out what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you, you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
Jerry,
okay? Y'all really think you're going to sit here with a microphone and tell me all of the things that I've done wrong and without going over the rights?
Well,
now, listen, we both know we're talking to a lot of great fans and a lot of great listeners. And I am very sorry for what happened out there Sunday. I'm sick about what happened Sunday. Now, I'm not talking to these yahoos on the end of this phone. I'm talking to you, the fans that are listening this morning. And we can spend a lot of time going over zigging and zagging. One of the stupidest things I've ever done that anybody has ever analyzed is by the Cowboys. It was an idiot that did that. So idiot things can turn into good decisions. Okay? Smart things can turn into bad decisions. The facts are that when you make one, you don't really know whether it's going to be good or not at the time. So let's just go ahead. I'm trying to answer your questions, man. You want some conversation this morning? You're getting it.
Jerry Jones.
Money and arrogance will make you do a lot of stupid things, have some stupid conversations. Look, the Dallas Cowboys have been falling backwards for a very long time. I just wrote down just a couple of moves that they've had over the last 4 years. When they got rid of Amari Cooper, who just went to the Buffalo Bills, CeeDee Lamb wasn't ready to be a number one yet. You had a number one. You didn't want to pay him, and he's been balling ever since with Cleveland. Now he'll be balling. You let him go. You paid Zeke, and you doubled down on it. You kept Zeke until you couldn't play. And then what you do? You bought Zeke back. You paid Tony Pollard. And you paid Tony Pollard, who was a secondary running back, and you tried to pay him like a number one. There was a guy this offseason that was free. Oh, man, what was his name? He's okay running back. He was free this year, and you could have went and got him.
Talking about Mr. Derrick Henry?
Oh, he leads the league in rushing and touchdowns.
Derrick Henry?
Didn't go get that. Derrick didn't go get him. Tyron Smith and Zach Martin. Oh, my God. They were first ballot Hall of Famers, so you let them play until they were so gray in the tooth. Zach Martin gave up 5 sacks. And Tyron Smith, you see him scrambling on the ground yesterday looking like a shell of himself. This is his first year with the Jets. He's gone on and on. They've made so many moves at so many terms. This is what happens. This is what desperation looks like.
Yeah, that reminds me of an old saying.
Mike McCarthy's still the head coach.
If you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen.
Yes, sir.
And you know what? If the Cowboys were winning right now, do you think Jerry would shun away praise?
Yeah.
No. He's the smartest man.
That's funny. Yeah. You know, you can't have it both ways, Jerry Jones. And if you want another guy with a microphone telling you how you screwed up, I'm your guy, because you royally messed this thing up. You were America's team. You were the team of the 90s, and now you haven't been anything for 30-plus years, and that's on your watch. So at some point, you got to walk by the mirror and be like, I'm the problem. I'm the problem. Like, Jerry's got to have an intervention with himself. It seemed like he was pretty close to it there. Like, listen, I'll decide who asks me the questions. Like, no, you're not running for office. That's not how this works. You own up to your wins just like you own up to your losses. That was embarrassing.
Yes.
It was like a child playing with their food on Sunday on his birthday. And I know he's hurting, and I know he's a billionaire, and what I say really doesn't matter to him. And honestly, the Cowboys losing doesn't really matter to him, does it? He's cashing his owner's check.
And that's a question I wanted to ask you, Maz. And look, we know Jerry Jones wants to win. He's a staple. You think about Super Bowls, you think about the NFL, you have to think about Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. But when you win 3 Super Bowls early out the gate, and then your team is winning the division, or 12 wins a year, 13 wins a year, they're getting to the second round of the playoffs, do you just get complacent and maybe you want people to think that you won a Super Bowl? You got 3 and you're in the playoffs every year. Is he just content?
I don't know if he's content, because there's no one that has a bigger ego than Jerry Jones. And his son, Stephen Jones, is going to take over for him when he decides to pass it along. I'm sure he's going to have to pass away before Stephen even gets his hands on the team. But it's the worst loss since he had him. The year before he bought him, they won 1 game. And then they went out and got the triplets. They traded Herschel Walker, got the triplets, and they won 3 Super Bowls.
Jimmy.
And here it is now, in over 30 years, the stick is saying that they haven't really been relevant. And they had a chance, man. The NFC's been down the last few years. They had their chances, and they don't have a chance anymore. The NFC is now becoming better than the AFC. You could see it. You saw the AFC North was the best division at one point. It has now switched to the NFC North. The NFC North is outscoring everybody. They have 4 wins or more, the only division that has that, and the Dallas Cowboys are going down the tubes. The Washington Commanders are going to own that division. The Philadelphia Eagles, a lot of talent. We'll see what they got. The Giants are a mess. But the Cowboys had their chance, and they blew it, and they were absolutely pantsed on Sunday.
Yeah, I think the 2 things that have done it for them, and then we can stop talking about the Cowboys. I think it's the arrogance of the individuals. It's okay to have individuals. It's okay to have guys that get paid big money. I mean, look at the Detroit Lions now. Guys are getting paid. They're individuals. Amon-Ra St. Brown is his own person, his podcast, his fashion, the things he do. But when he gets on the field, Amon-Ra St. Brown becomes one of many.
Yep.
He becomes one of many. Micah Parsons, he's going to guys on his team. CeeDee Lamb doesn't even like his quarterback.
Yep.
And that leads me to the second issue. The second issue is, if you're going to win in this league, you got to have a guy at quarterback, a guy that can lead, a guy that, look, I'm not talking about a Patrick Mahomes. Jared Goff's a leader.
Yeah.
Jared Goff's a leader when he gets out there, when he takes his bumps and bruises and things of that nature. That's not what Dak Prescott is. Dak's a one-off guy, and they had to go get Ezekiel Elliott this year just so he had a friend on that offense. I am not BSing you on that.
But sorry, KJ, I just want to make this point. But you know what's interesting about you bringing that up? All those one-off guys, they emulate Jerry Jones. Mm-hmm. You just heard that cockiness. You just heard that arrogance on that phone call. All the Lions guys, they emulate Brad Holmes.
That's a good point.
So it's built from the top. He hired people like himself, so you can't expect individuals to become a team. And Maz, I wanted to ask you, 30 years ago, made a great trade, right? At what point do we acknowledge he may have lucked into that trade? Because history now has shown he's less successful than that trade would indicate early in his career.
He had better guys working with him 30 years ago. They're all gone. They're all gone. Now it's him.
his son.
And it can't work.
Yeah.
It can't work as the owner, general manager, president, coach. It can't work. And there's only
next
one
up
guy.
is your son, and he's not going to tell you you're ever wrong.
And there's only one guy that you could hire that will take your crap, and it's Mike McCarthy. Yeah, the guy wants a gig. He is a good coach, but he's been emasculated. The players know that. The players know they could crap all over him, and he's got nothing to do with anything because he has no chance to put his stamp on the team because Jerry is wielding his power from behind, just like Kramer and what's his name on Seinfeld. Right. Del Boca Vista Phase 2. Same crap.
Morty Seinfeld.
Same thing.
Sometimes you do got to challenge people or hire people that challenge your line of thinking, man, because nobody has won against Jerry Jones. Think about it. He got rid of Jimmy Johnson because he went back at him. Bill Parcells didn't work. So now we got yes men. We got Jason Garrett. You got Dan Quinn and now Mike McCarthy. And the cycle continues. Nobody has challenged Jerry Jones and his ego, and you seeing the results of that. He think he knows everything. Well, you get old. Nah, the league has changed on you, and you are losing because of it.
All you need to know about Jerry Jones' ego is Jimmy Johnson was just put into the Ring of Honor last year.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know about his
ego.
Against his will.
And that was his best bud.
Against his will.
Call it again. It's like Steinbrenner and Yogi Berra.
Yogi Berra, you're right.
Before we go, let's empty. Speaking of emptying the playbook, we got some good sound from our guy Brian Baldinger. Baldinger talking about my man Kevin Zeiler as well as Amon-Ra St. Brown on the touchdown. You want to touch
the
on
one you talked about?
100%.
That St. Brown route that you talked about.
This is true.
Brian Baldinger breaks it down. Check it out.
Let's start here.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is a router. Watch this swirl route, okay? Watch what he does to the corner here, okay? This is brilliant stuff. Bam. Now watch him look for the ball there. So that's what right there, the defender thinks the ball's going to this fade route right here. But now watch this, how he changes direction, now separates. Look where Goff puts his ball. I mean, this is beautiful. Quarterback, wide receiver play. There's the pylon, and there's the touchdown by Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's a brilliant swirl route right here. Coming back to the ball, here you go. Oh, man, this is pretty. This is pretty. Bump that to his resume reel. That's great stuff. Great route, great throw to beat man coverage.
Shout out to Brian Baldinger, the biggest Lions fan that's not actually from
right, unofficial Lions fan.
100%.
Right.
You know what? Like this is sexy. And when you watch a great route, like, look, I was a guy, I could high point the ball, I jump over you, I ran pretty good routes, but being a taller receiver, it's harder to break down. It's hard to get in and out of breaks. So, you get the guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown or Garrett Wilson, guys like that are faster, or Jamison Williams. But when you can do it, when you can execute the setup, like you see he comes off the line, you're already inside the 10-yard line. So what is the DB thinking in one-on-one coverage? He's thinking fade anyway, fade or slant. So Amon-Ra St. Brown, boom, boom, sells it, gets here. Gives him the look here. Now the DB is going to fade to the corner of the end zone. And then when you do that, boom, boom, you break down and you come out of it, man. It was a sexy route. That's the stuff when you're watching. It's like, that's magic right there.
I love that.
It's graduate level football,
It
right?
is.
And that's what happens when you have a quarterback and a wide receiver that have been together. And it's what happens when you have an OC and a quarterback and a wide receiver that have been together that long. You said the word. It's chemistry. Because that doesn't come week one. That doesn't even come year one. Year one, you're working on the fade. Just hit me on the fade. Just hit me on the fade.
That's why Cooper
Kupp
Kupp and Matt Stafford, and I know you hate Matt, and that's fine.
I don't hate Matt. I love Matt.
It's a joke. I'm messing with privilege, for sure. But that's why that was so impressive. Because Cooper and Matt, you're like, this is year one. It seems like I've been playing together forever. But go ahead.
But yeah, but they were boys in the offseason, so they had that. But no, and that's honestly the cohesion of this coaching staff being together, head coach, OC, DC for the past 4 years, and the players now evolving in the system. This is the fun stuff we get to see. Like, I'm sure Ben Johnson wanted to run that year one.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't until everybody's evolved mentally and the game's slowed down that much to where you can fake the fade but still have the time to come back, because a lot of times you're sped up in that. If it's new to you, you're just like, oh, okay, I got to get here. And you just go to your spot. The acting, the role play, like that's what makes this offense so fun to watch. Mina Kimes, I thought, had a great tweet.
I love Mina Kimes.
She had a great tweet about the line.
Legit.
She said,
shout out.
Friend of the show. I don't know the exact quote, but she said, they bully you, but then they'll also trick you.
Finesse you.
Both things are very disrespectful. The way they beat you both ways are very disrespectful.
I'm glad you said that. And look, we're gonna play this out, and then we'll take a break at the top of the hour. But I got to get this one in. You talked about bullying. Well, look no further than Kevin Zeitler, another Baldy breakdown, talking about the new right guard for the Detroit Lions.
Kevin Zeitler is the right guard for the Detroit Lions. He made his first Pro Bowl last year. He's an amazing player. You watch him right here, and he hits Overshown right there, and David Montgomery, hard to tackle, cuts right off him. Like, you watch him play in, play out. Like, this guy's been in the league 13 years. Nobody ever talks about him. Everywhere he goes, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Baltimore, Detroit, he plays great football. Oh, no, yeah, by the way, he plays every single down and every single game, every single year. That's the tough block right here. He's got the solo block, and Goff wants to hold the ball like he's checking his Snapchat. He's holding the ball so long. But Zeitler gives him a chance to be able to make that throw. You get down the goal line, a lot of teams can't score from the one. They can't gain a yard. The Lions gain a yard every time they need a yard, because they just create an avalanche right here. Like, they just cave in the whole side. Excellent job by Hesse. Touchdown right there. This is just, Jared Goff, his best friend isn't his new beautiful bride. It's time. Time is his best friend. Like, can you give Jared Goff any more time than this? Like, can it get any better? Can you build a wall any better than that? Yeah. And you get Gibbs on the outside. Boom. Okay. But this Zeitler, though, you can't stop. You have to watch. He's probably the strongest guy on the team. Might also be the smartest guy on the team. Never makes an error. Never has a mental assignment error. And then you get him next to Sewell and Glasgow and Frank Ragnow and Decker. It's just the best. It's the best line in the league right now. You watch where Jahmyr Gibbs cuts right here. Where's he going to go? Right behind his right guard. There it is. Nice lead block by Hesse. It's one after another. Like, this Zeitler is an amazing player because he's so consistent. It's every week. It's every year. Like, and this is just an avalanche. It's just one avalanche after another. Dallas didn't have any idea how to stop it.
I'll just end this clip with this.
I love the comment at the end.
To have Frank Ragnow as your center, to have Penei Sewell as your right tackle, and for him to say Zeitler is the strongest out of all of them, it lets you know how strong big number 71 is.
Well, and here's what I love about it, too. The Lions just didn't rest on their laurels last year. We got a great offensive line. You know what they did? They went and added to it. They made it better. And that's what I love about these guys, and I love about the system.
And they'll draft today. They'll draft one this year.
Or they'll just keep adding.
Well, they got Giovanni Manu, so we'll see how good he turns in.
Even when they drafted Penei Sewell, the offensive line was decently strong. It was one of their stronger units on the team, but they're just like, all right, we're doubling down on the line. And you see, it's done nothing but pay off since then. And I just love that mentality of, this is our strength. How do we make it stronger? Now, this is our strength. Let's meddle over here and try to get something else.
You know what else pays off is when you're in a situation, you go to the right people. And that's what you got to do with KDK Law. Let's get that message from KDK Law.
Are you dealing with divorce, child custody, visitation, or other family law issues? You need excellence on your side. So do me a favor right now. Scan that QR code that's above my head. That'll get you in contact with KDK Law. And you can email them as well, kdklawoffice, and go there.com. Scan that QR code. They got your back. And if you tell them Woodward Sports sent you, they're going to pay your filing fee. So you're already saving, and keep your stuff, like KG says. Don't let her take your stuff.
Don't let her do it.
No.
And while you're celebrating your victory over your spouse, you can fuel your Lions fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game or savoring a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com. Choose your favorite roast, use the code word Woodward, and get 25% off your first subscription order. Awake and unwind. Support local and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. We'll be right back, folks.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness. We're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Hey, gang, you know you all want a new home. Dreaming of a new home but feeling a financial pinch? That's where Mark White and his team, Mark White and Associates, will come. They're your trusted real estate experts here to help you. They're going to pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, KG, $5,000. Who can't use an extra $5,000? So call Mark White and Associates today, 248-290-8242. Hit them up online as well, markwhitesells.com. Again, that phone number, Mark White and Associates, 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
And if you're looking for a great haircut for a man, come to Lady Jane's where it's wicked awesome.
I'll show you a real man.
The towels are clean. You see the girls walking by here all the time doing laundry inside of our studio. It's a beautiful thing. You can come get that shoulder rub, get treated like a king. Walk in anytime at Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
Welcome back to Ermanni Networks with Maz. Ermanni now with us today. My man Stick is in there doing his thing. As always, pause on that comment. Maz, interesting night last night in sports. You had you had 3 New York teams, and what I mean by that, well, you had 4, but you had 3 real New York teams.
Look how excited Maz was.
You had the
Right.
Devils playing,
Well,
the Rangers and Red Wings,
Okay, there you
the
go.
Liberty,
Okay.
the Jets, the Mets, and the Yankees. That was a full day.
You don't care about the Liberty, though.
And only the Jets disappointed.
Who are the Liberty?
You know the good
WNBA.
thing about that?
IHL hockey.
The Jets actually are in New Jersey, so technically all the New York teams won last night. Let's get to the one that didn't in the Jets.
Oh, man,
Talked
did
about
they
a little bit
blow this.
earlier the New York Jets, the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills ended up winning 23-20. Josh Allen 3 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers 2 touchdowns. 22 penalties for
It was
204 yards. It was just an ugly game. It was an ugly game that your boy had something to say about that too, man.
Oh, yeah, but 22 flags, guys, between the two teams.
It just
the referees, honestly, they're ruining the game. They're ruining the game.
What are they supposed to do though if they're actual penalties? Do you want them to swallow the whistle, keep the flag in their
Swallow
pocket?
some, man.
All 22.
Swallow some.
All 22.
Pause. Right.
I'm gonna have to start using that.
Right. Swallow
No,
some.
but honestly, like,
Why do I even open my mouth?
clip that.
Oh, man.
Like,
Done it
honestly,
again.
there was some poor football being played last night, just like we were talking during the break. That Jags Chicago game, poor
I watched
football.
that whole
Defenders
game, too.
holding every possession, and like, so what do you want the officials to
You know
do?
what the common denominator was in that? Oh, never mind. Go ahead. I was gonna say it was the Jets, but I forgot. Just,
Listen, two bad kickers in this game. First of all, the Jets need a new kicker. Greg Zuerlein's done, and Tyler Bass is terrible as well for the Bills. So last night, after that game, about 45 minutes after that game, of course, Aaron
when
Rodgers.
did James Cook decide he wasn't going to play?
Right.
Like,
He didn't
what's
play.
going on with these?
But they had another guy stepped up.
Ray
and
Davis,
No, Ray
Ray
Davis
Davis.
brought out, but like they didn't tell me. I had to
Sorry, buddy.
mess my parlay.
Get with it, man. Get with it.
I got Ray Davis on my dynasty league.
Oh, you
so-
do?
So 45 minutes after the game, they find out that the Jets indeed traded for Davonte Adams. They give up a conditional third-round pick if he becomes an all-pro or if he plays X amount of plays or gets some X amount of touchdowns, it can go to a second-round pick. So Davonte Adams, he joins the Jets. Actually, Aaron Rodgers did his show today with Pat McAfee. He gave him the old head nod, and here he came. Davonte Adams stuck his head in there, and they started talking to him. They look very happy together. But last night during the Manning cast, they had Bill Belichick on. And just to refresh your memory, guys, Bill Belichick was hired to be Bill Parcells' successor.
Yeah.
So for one night, he was a successor because that night he went to dinner with Robert Kraft and of the New England Patriots. He was the new owner of the Patriots, and they offered him the house. Do whatever you want. So on a cocktail napkin, he wrote, Bill Belichick is not, what did he say? Has quit the New York Jets.
Quit the New York Jets.
Is not a head coaching job. Is not doing it. On a cocktail napkin. So Bill Belichick last night, they asked him about the Jets, and here's what he had to say about them.
That's kind of what it's been there at the Jets. You know, it barely won over 30% in the last 10 years. So, you know, the owner being the owner, just ready, fire, aim.
But, Bill, you mentioned, in '99, you were the DC for the Jets. Parcells was the head coach. He stepped down. You replaced him for a day before resigning. We have a recreation of your resignation letter that we can show here. You wrote, quote, "I resigned as HC of the NYJ," and you wrote it on a napkin. Bill, looking back, which is stranger, that you resigned on a napkin or that you couldn't be bothered to write out the words head coach?
I was tight on space. Hey, look, Peyton, I was the head coach of the Jets twice. I was the head coach before Parcells came there, and I was the head coach after Bill resigned. Undefeated, unscored on, all right? My career as a coach of the Jets, it's unblemished.
If you haven't seen the 30 for 30, Bill and Bill, the two Bills, you got to watch it. I mean, it was a disaster. When Parcells left the Jets, it was supposed to be Belichick taking over. Well, you know what? He didn't want Bill's leftovers anymore because he wanted the New York Giants job. He didn't get that. Followed Bill to the Jets, got him to the playoffs within, you can ask Braylon, got him really close to getting to the Super Bowl, did not. So Parcells resigns, health issues, and he didn't like the ownership. He said, "I'm taking Robert Kraft over Woody Johnson, and the rest is history.
Dumb owners do dumb things. Woody Johnson chose Santonio Holmes over me, and they ain't been to the playoffs since.
There you go.
They haven't been to the playoffs since I left. So hey, it is what it is.
I love that ready, fire, aim comment.
I love this new lease on life, Bill Belichick.
Yeah, he is living his best life.
And Nick Saban, like every time they're on air, they do not miss. They're coming for your head.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? Because like when Bill Belichick was coaching, it was, oh my God, the Patriot way. He's a hard-nosed coach. He's, you never saw, he was never smiling. He had the dark hoodie up over his eyes and all. And now it's like, I want to go have a beer with Bill Belichick and talk about life. And especially, the girls he's pulling too. Like Bill's got it figured out.
He's always pulled the women. Always.
I think
always.
100%, because you look at that, like that's not just money. Like that's not just this. It's something else.
Sure. Yeah, no, there's game behind that.
There's game. It's game in there somewhere. You're not just messing with a little wrinkly old dude.
I don't know about that one. Y'all can add over.
It's a bit of both. It can be a bit of both. But you know what it is? I think is when you see people that are so committed to their craft, so committed to excellence. Like everybody hated Kobe. And then all of a sudden, rest in peace, Mamba retires. You're like, oh man, he's this, he's that. He's dope. He's cool. He's funny. He's enjoying wine. He's enjoying, whatever. So like, I think when you got certain individuals, they are locked in and laser focused until that job is no more.
It's kind of funny because Tom Brady is the same way, right? When you saw him sipping that avocado tequila,
when he got out of New England.
But that was kind of like Belichick, buttoned up. But Tom Brady was really a free dude, and he was also going through a divorce at the time. So we all know once you let out the cage, it's a little bit different.
This guy's got game. This guy's got game, man. This guy's got game.
He got Cialis, is what he got.
There he is. Look at this.
It's not my bad.
He got Cialis in the bank account. That's what he got.
Sometimes that's what you need.
Who does the walk of shame at 70? Come on now.
He ain't ashamed.
That's no shame.
He ain't ashamed.
He's
throwing down.
Shame is a hoodie, sliding out, sliding it. He walked out with no shirt, no hat. That's not shame. That's hey
man, y'all can't have that one.
I guarantee you, when the house, she was asleep.
Yeah.
If you went out, she was asleep.
Oh my
God. Put that work in. Time as
well. Oh man.
He had to go pick up his newspaper to do the crossword puzzle.
Right. Y'all stupid, man.
It was scoregami.
Oh my God.
Did you know the Lions got a scoregami?
Yes, 47-9. Yes.
Yeah. It was like
scoregami.
1,048.
1087. Number 1087 all time. Yep.
1087 all time score matchup.
What is that?
So like
weird scores.
The combination of scores, 13, 14, 15 to 22. Gotcha. Scoregami happened. It doesn't happen
this
at all.
This is the first time?
So it never happened.
First time 47-9 has ever happened in the NFL.
Would you look at that?
Isn't that weird?
Detroit Lions just breaking.
Isn't that amazing that someone actually keeps track of that?
I'm just glad we're on the 47 end.
Right.
Usually we would have been on the 9.
Big facts.
Remember, SOL's dead.
Yeah.
Right. Times have changed.
Yeah. SCL is what Sean Belizean was. Cocky Lions fans. Yeah.
Where you guys want to go? I mean, we got.
I got a little bit more NFL for you.
Tom as well.
All right, the Jags, as you saw over the weekend, are a disaster in London, their own home place. Although they weren't the home team this week.
Hey, Trayvon Walker, that's another guy. Go get him. Go get Trayvon Walker.
Let's get him. Number 1 and number 2, right? 1, 2.
There you go.
Anyway, they got crushed. And I even wrote you and Ryan that day, and I said
I ignored you.
I said this team has quit.
Yeah,
you could tell when a team quit, and then later in the day you saw the Cowboys quit.
Yeah.
So Jaguars safety Andre Sisco, they interview him. He's one of their better players, and I guess he seconded what I said. Check it out.
Was it as bad as it felt and looked out there?
Yeah, it was really bad. I just don't know. I just felt like it was. How should I say this? A lot of quit, and I don't know. Just last line of defense. In a situation like that, you could feel when we're playing as one and when we're not, and felt very early in the game. Kind of once things maybe at halftime that we weren't playing as one.
How concerning is that?
Extremely, and dangerous. It's we laying our bodies on the line, and guys you gotta understand, like when you're out there, you really playing for your brother. Like you putting guys in vulnerable positions, whether that's physically or just like from a career aspect. Like take care of each other when we out there, like at the least. even if things start to get bad. So, yeah, just not a good product at all.
You've been around this thing. You guys are supposed to be better than 1-5.
Mm-hmm.
How do you fix it? I mean, how do you get out of stuff that you're talking about?
Next Sunday, like I'm at the point personally. I just feel like, practice is great. We come to practice like hard hats every day. Guys are in meetings, attentive. Like it's not a scheduled thing, practice thing. It's like, bro, on Sunday, it's like when it counts. And we understand that's the hardest part, right? But like, there's no excuse for lack of effort. Like that's literally the least you could do is come out and give effort. And I'm not calling, like I'm saying that to myself too. Like, so that's always the mindset is like come out, give your best. If it's not perfect, it's not perfect. But I think watching the film, we'll see what it was.
Do you get the sense?
Hey, look, and I've been on those teams, man. I played in Cleveland, and we had some pretty abysmal years. And like he said, you go into every week of practice, man, starting in freaking April. You go into practice, you give it all. You get paid to do this job, but it's still what we love to do. It's still most people's love, joy, and dream to be in this level. You give it all in practice. Every week you're going in thinking, like, this is another week to get better. This is another week to change the narrative, and that's what they're thinking. But then there's that part in that season. I've seen it, and you see guys get to the point where if it doesn't go right in the first quarter, guys are quitting. Mm-hmm. Guys are quitting after the second series of the game. Like he said, you got to take care of the guy to the right and to the left. Even when the Detroit Lions, I always hate to bring it back to the Lions. I don't seem like homers, but guess what? Surprised I am. Even when they were bad in 2021, now you saw something there. Those guys didn't quit that whole year. At the end of the year, they did not quit. 2022, 0-6 they started. They didn't quit that whole year. You're fighting for the guy to your right. You're fighting for the guy to your left. I saw missed tackles, drop passes, false starts, holes. The coaches didn't look like they knew what the hell they were doing. I was mad I had to watch that game, but I was trying to see what the Bears, trying to keep the one leg up on the competition. But it was an ugly game. That team doesn't play for everybody. And you know where it stems from? And I already know you say, like, where do you go next if you fire Doug Peterson? I don't care, but he's not the answer. It's the same thing I talked about with the Michigan game. There are moments when a coach is supposed to step in, and I thought for Doug Peterson, your team they don't care. You got to do something.
That was going to be the question I asked you out of that. So you kind of answered that. But going back to the 2001 or 2021 Lions, remember that interview with Dan Campbell when he was literally crying, talking about those guys?
They were 0-10, I think, at that point.
But it wasn't because their lack of try. It was just because of their lack of ability. And I think that's what he was crying about. Like, these guys went to war every day knowing they were underarmed, they were undermanned, but they didn't give up ever. And that dog mentality of that team, even though they weren't good team, but they never lacked effort. And that just shows you how great of a coach Dan Campbell is. To keep untalented players that know they're going to go bash their head against the wall every Sunday engaged to that level, that's something not a lot of men can do to other men. But then you flip the coin. You go to the Jaguars. I mean, look at their head coaching tree that's been there the past couple. Urban Meyer took a flamethrower to that
circus
whole thing.
act. Yeah, he did.
And then trying to recover from that, you bring in a guy, he's a quarterback whisperer, Doug Peterson.
He won a Super Bowl.
He made Nick Foles something.
Who was the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach when Doug Peterson had success? It was Frank.
Frank Wright. Who went
Frank Wright.
But he failed as a head coach
because they didn't draft C.J. Stroud.
Yeah,
like he wanted C.J. Stroud.
He wanted Stroud
with the Panthers. He wanted Stroud.
Yeah,
and they chose
he
to
went
go
against the owner.
Right, 100%. But Trevor Lawrence, I want to ask you this question.
I know.
Sunshine.
100%.
Hey, look, I like him.
Listen, I like him. He's done nothing wrong as a person for me to hate, and he still has ability. But Maz, at some point you start to ask the question, like at Clemson, he was next up at Clemson. Deshaun Watson won a national championship. That team was still in place. That Dabo Swinney is the leader of that team. He's the guy calling shots. Trevor's just out there playing. In the NFL, you have to be a leader. You have to do the things. You can't just be your head coach. That team is just out of control, and it just seems like he's just trying to find himself. I don't think he's it. I don't think he's the answer, and I don't think it's going to be long-term for him in Jacksonville.
Well, he just got paid, so it's going to be long-term. And I do believe he's got the talent. 2 years ago, he was almost in the AFC Championship game. He took the team. He won a playoff game. And he should have won the second damn playoff game. But it didn't work out. I don't know what the hell happened. But you know what? What happened to Travis Etienne?
Right.
What happened to Tank Bigsby
Injured.
all of a sudden? Now they're using some other guy that you probably know.
They always
you know,
injured.
you play fantasy. Who's the third guy? Johnson?
Number two, Ern Johnson.
Some guy Johnson now. Hey, Johnson, you're up. They have, and the wide receivers. What happened to them? Where are they?
Thomas dropped the
Calvin
pass,
Ridley's
but
in
Thomas is
Tennessee.
nice. Like Thomas from LSU.
Yeah,
Not
Brian
the last
Thomas.
two.
Yeah.
Not the last 2 weeks.
No, he nice.
Well, he had 2 touchdowns 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and then he dropped. To your point, he dropped a touchdown in the corner end zone last week, 100%. It just doesn't seem like. And I made some phone calls. So I won't share it with you. What my brother shared, it would be against the code. But they just don't seem to trust the coaches. There's just something going on in that locker room. The identity, like it's you see him in the interview just now.
Yeah.
He's calling players out without calling players
Right.
out. Like when guys get to doing things like that,
It
on
was
camera,
hurting him too.
He didn't want to say it, but and that's why I give him even more respect.
Yeah.
A whole
He
lot
didn't
of
want to
quit.
say. He's
No.
trying to find a way to be politically correct, and he said, "Look, it's quit."
Yeah.
Because there's no way to sugarcoat
If
it.
a guy
So what
like
do you do
me-
if you're in that locker room, though? Like,
Listen,
if
man.
they're not replacing the coach,
It's over.
you're still a man. You still got to go out there and be prideful of what you do on the field. But how do you remedy that, Braylon? If I know me and you are going
Yeah.
on the field, I'm going to give my all, but you're going to just kind of, if it's not going right, all right,
Coast.
business decision. How do you overcome that as a franchise?
As franchise, you can't.
Okay.
As a franchise, you can. Shad Khan, who actually is from here, and the things he's done, I don't know what he's going to do as an owner. He's in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Coach is in a bad spot. I don't think the coach will be here the rest of the season. I think he'll be gone. Give it 2 weeks. I don't think Doug Pearson's the head coach for. I don't know what you do because I've been in situations in Cleveland. I always go back to that. But we had some bad teams, and it was like, look, I'm going to just go to work and do what I'm supposed to do. And it sucks when you get to that point. But
Right.
you know what? I get paid to do a job. My job is to be on. It gets to that point.
And your brand's on the line,
My
too,
job-
right? You're
yeah.
almost auditioning for other teams
My
at
job
that
is
point,
to be.
right?
You know what? You can't say this about me. You may say I was on a losing team, but I showed up to work.
Right.
I was on time. When you called on me, you could trust me. When you turn the film on, I'm blocking as well as catching passes. Like I'm doing all the things. I'm not an off-field distraction. That's what happens in these situations. You guys say, all right, look, now it's about me. It sucks because it's a team game. But this ain't gonna be the last team that you play on, and you want to
Right.
make sure you check all your boxes. So I think that's the space that they're in right now, and this is another fire sale organization. And it's crazy because they have so much talent on this team. Like I haven't seen a situation like this in the NFL where you look from top to bottom, offense and defense. I mean, they got studs, they got players, and they suck.
Well, they play the Patriots in London this weekend. So if
Crap
they
fest.
beat the Patriots, Doug Peterson will survive. If they lose to the Patriots, he ain't coming home
He'll never
to the
get another
America.
job ever if he
He's
loses
not
to
coming
the
back to America because they will take his passport away and leave him in London. That's exactly what's going to happen this weekend.
Hamilton Lions.
If they win, he's on the team plane. If they lose, he's got to book his own flight home.
That's crazy. That's a Super Bowl winning coach. Man.
That's a fact.
That's crazy.
That's a fact because you can't pay your quarterback all that money and then let the coach let him be the way he is. He has gone into a dark tunnel, a dark hole. That kid he's got the goods still. I know he does.
Last thought, KG, on Jacksonville Jaguars and how bad they are before we go to break.
I mean, they done. Their owner is trash, Shad Khan. He's been trash for a while, and
I thought
they
you
will
liked
continue
him.
to
He's
be.
a wrestling guy.
Well, yeah, AEW was cool, and his son runs that actually,
things
Tony
can be
Khan.
true.
Yeah, but I mean, they gonna continue to be bad. This is what they've always been.
This is true. We're going to continue to be good, and we're going to actually talk to you about what we do here at the pregame show.
Yeah, pregame
Yeah.
show. First, you wake up, you have your coffee with Broder and the
Little
one,
sip.
the only, Terry Foster, and you discuss the Lions. It's a nice casual show.
Little Baileys and coffee.
Yeah, then we ease on into the pregame show, which is a hard-hitting, all the stuff you want. You got Pete giving
Get
you
taller.
bets. You got Pete giving you fantasy advice. You got
watch
Pete
it.
running the whole show. And of course,
Whoa.
Sean Belizean and Neil Rule are there from time to time as well. And then, of course, when the
State
Lions are home, we are live at
That's Pete
Second
show.
Best, downtown Detroit in Midtown. Come hang out with us. Brought to you by the fine people at Sabbath Coffee, Tullamore Dew, and of course, New Holland Brewery.
Maz, ring a ding dong.
Ring a bell,
Ring ding dong, ring a ding 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 dong.
Keep their hair
It's
straight.
that
There you
time,
go.
guys. It's the Salvation Army Red
Hey.
Kettle campaign, and this
They
is
don't
how
know about
you can get involved. Visit registertoring.com and sign up for some shifts. And this is the 2 shifts that you could sign up for. You got an option for a 2-hour physical session at a Red Kettle site. In other words, you're outside of a store. You've seen all of those. Or you can do it from home, and that is called the virtual bell ringing. You could do that starting right now, and you can do it all the way through. Virtual bell ringers can sign up right now. Traditional bell ringers, you got to wait till November the 7th. That's Friday, November the 7th. It runs through Christmas Eve, excluding Thanksgiving and Sundays. To sign up for volunteer shifts, do it today. Register to ring.com. The Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness. We're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
This is one small step for man, one giant leap for IPAs, man. True. It's the best IPA in the game right now, courtesy of New Holland Brewing Company in Holland, Michigan. It's the Tangerine Space Machine, man. The smooth, juicy, and refreshing crushability that'll take your taste buds to the moon. The official beer of outer space. It is New Holland Tangerine Space Machine.
You know what goes good with the official beer of outer space? I like that one. It's chicken.
Oh,
crispy
yeah.
chicken.
Big facts.
But
lemon
only
pepper.
from a certain place, and that place is Soroki's. Those signature wings are fire. Lemon pepper. You gotta listen to my man KG on that one. And stick KG, the lemon pepper wings. I agree with you.
Unreal.
They
Yeah,
are
so good.
unreal.
So good.
And don't sleep on the teriyaki. Don't sleep on the pot. Don't sleep on the buffalo or the Parmesan garlic. Look, this is what they do at Soroki's now. They're taking over the wing business. But don't forget, they still got the crispy chicken and the pizza in the form of the New York pie, and don't sleep on the fountain soda as well. But if that's not your speed, they still have salads, crispy sides. If you want to stay in shape, if you're feeling your physique, if that's what you want to look like, me, I want the wings. It's Sunday. It is here for the taking. But if you're going to eat those wings, you better get in shape. And that's Planet Fitness right there, baby. Get your membership today. With over 50 locations around metropolitan Detroit, look, Planet Fitness is the gym for you. That's because they feature the squeaky clean gym as well as the no judgment zone. I want to work out at my own pace, do my own things. I don't want to hear what people have to say about it. That's what you do at Planet Fitness. You work out because your fitness is essential. And I think a big thing that people don't talk about with Planet Fitness is fitness that fits into your budget. Everybody's got a budget, so does Planet Fitness. Your fitness is essential. All right, welcome back into the show.
And we're back.
It's a lot going on today, man. I'm having a great show with you guys.
It's flowing, man.
You're on your game today.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Maybe it's because I got that good sleep. Maybe it's because I got that good sleep. All right, we got these reads out of the way. College football. Whoa.
What a Saturday, huh?
It was a very, very interesting weekend. Michigan
Wish I could have enjoyed it. The Tigers ruined my Saturday.
Yeah, Michigan didn't play, thank God.
But you know what totally redeemed it? Ohio State.
Nice.
Ride home on Saturday from
You
St.
can't have
Thomas.
both, Ohio.
Ryan Day just ain't it, man.
Yeah, Braylon, I got to throw it to you on this. Is Ryan Day ever going to win anything at Michigan, or is Jim Harbaugh still in his head, even when he's not even in the NCAA?
I think it's Jim Harbaugh, but I think Jim Harbaugh made a very valid comment. And sometimes it happens like that. You look at a Lincoln Riley, refresh you with the comments that Ryan Day was born on third. And what he meant by that is Urban Meyer had created this powerhouse at The Ohio State, which was created before he was there too. But he just inherited that. He inherited the players. He inherited the recruiting. But he has done nothing with it in terms of closing the door, sealing the deal, winning the primetime game. And this past Saturday night, Oregon, another win, Dan Lanning, who's actually the coach that I wanted. Like, if there was a coach that was going to leave last year, Dan Lanning was the coach that I wanted for Michigan. It's neither here nor there. It's water.
He might leave this year.
Now.
This is true, but Ryan Day is just not it. I don't know. It's his coaching style. You look at big moments. You look at the sideline. His guys don't seem to respond to him. He doesn't seem to have the words when the moment calls for it. And the fact that you got Will Howard making a Dak Prescott mistake like that at the end of the game, that's a conversation that Ryan Day should have had with him before that play, before that series. Get that in his head so that when he knows, all right, cool, this is what I got to do. Didn't have that conversation. You see how it ended. Ryan Day won't be able to get over that hump. He's not the guy, and sometimes he's just not the guy. Lincoln Riley, he inherits Bob Stoops' Oklahoma. He's got a Heisman Trophy winner every year. He's going to get you to the college football playoff, but you can't get over the hump. Lincoln Riley almost beat Georgia. He almost beat Clemson, but at the end he couldn't get it done. I think Ryan Day is another one of those coaches following in that footstep. They're going to get the players because they're going to spend the money, but he's not the guy. What is it that he doesn't have? Like that it factor in the big games? Because, they run Ruckshaw over everybody they should, right? But when it comes to being squared up with somebody that's equally as talented, they just could never seem to get over the hump. What is that, a mental thing? Is that a preparation thing? What is that? Because to me, it's hilarious, right? Ohio State fans run their mouth. Oh, we got the best NIL team. This team can't be beat. We've spent $40 million on our payroll. Blah, 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 blah. We're the best ever. Well, until you're not, and you still got the same coach that is running your program, not into the ground. Yeah. He's good, just not good enough. That's got to be frustrating. I don't care how good you are as a player, Maz, and I'll come to you next. I don't care how good you are as a player. I don't care how many All-Americans you have. I don't care how many Pro Bowlers you have. I don't care how many first-team All-Pros you have. Maz, as old as it is, you still got to have what? You got to have a coach. Mm-hmm. And when your players don't believe in a coach and they're out there trying to do for themselves, in those moments where you need a coach, you need a guy to dial you in to get you in that moment, they don't have that. And that's what Ryan Day is not. And you see it with the players. Like, they're great on their own or when the play hits or this, that, and the third. And, Emeka Ibuka can score a touchdown here. Or Smith is amazing, number 4. They keep finding these wideouts. They can do all that on their own. But when you get in that moment, and that's who's next. Yeah.
Right.
And that's who's up next for them is going to be Brian Hartline. That's why he didn't take that job in Cincinnati, and that's why he didn't go to Wisconsin. But the players need to feel like trusting the coach, and they do not trust Ryan Day.
I will say this. We don't know what they told the kid on the sideline. They probably told him. I'm going to guess that they probably told him, look, you got to throw the ball away. You can't get caught in the middle of the field. We don't have any timeouts left. But what Dan Lanning did, the genius putting the 12th man on the field.
I'm not buying that.
By the way,
I'm not buying it.
He said they did it on purpose. You saw it. They kind of pushed him onto the field. Now, the NCAA, who is hopeless, are now looking into that rule to see if, in fact, I don't know what they're looking for, but I don't know if they could reverse the call. I doubt they can. No, but when it comes to the end of it, and I'm not defending Ryan Day.
Yeah, 100%.
But when it comes to the end of it all, they're still going to make the playoff. They're still dangerous.
Yeah, but they're not going to win nothing.
You don't know that.
We know that. We've seen it.
Oh, well, we don't know. Really.
Time and time again.
If any year is up in the air, this is the year.
I feel you on that, but I'm not playing what could be. I'm playing the man. I'm playing what I've seen, the consistency, whether it was the ass whooping they took against Clemson, whether it was look, the Georgia game, look, their field goal kicker missed the field goal. It is what it is, and to play like field goal missed against Georgia, but I just don't trust Ryan Day. The Dan Lanning play, everybody says it's a genius play. You got the 4-second runoff, this, that, and third. What if you throw the ball down there, you get a completion, and you got the 12 men on the field? Now you get to stop the clock for the penalty. The defense stops the clock. So now you get the penalty, you move in, and now you're in field goal range.
Well, it worked out, right?
It did. It worked out for them, and so shout out to them. But it could have gone the other way. That's not a play I would try.
But like you were saying, that was the guy that Michigan should have went
Dan
after.
Lanning was
that kind of guy. I'm sorry. Yeah. And we've discussed it a million times. Michigan, they got the wrong guy. They got the wrong guy, and they got caught with their pants down going for the championship last year. They didn't get a quarterback. They didn't get any offensive linemen. They didn't get any receivers. They didn't get any running backs. They completely botched the upcoming years.
They also didn't get any love on the major networks. You mean to tell me Michigan and Michigan State are playing on the Big Ten network?
They
talk about it.
I know you guys talked about it yesterday, but this is embarrassing. Look, let's call a spade a spade. Michigan and Michigan State, no matter what the ranking was, no matter what the records were, they were going to be on somebody's primetime TV. They were going to be on one of the major networks, and it was going to be a game. The fact that you have two of the most storied programs in the Big Ten playing against each other in 2 weeks, and it's on the Big Ten network, it says a lot about what these networks feel about Michigan, and we already know what everybody feels about Michigan State. This is...
But what do the networks want? Offense. And what is one thing that Michigan State can't do? They can't play offense.
They deserve the Big Ten network, but I'm still saying this is embarrassing to be here.
The over-under is probably 30 for that game.
Oh, yeah, big facts.
You would assume that the Michigan audience would still draw, right? I mean, Michigan has a large audience.
Even State.
Even when their football teams are bad.
Yeah, this is true, but like you said, it's offense. Even when Michigan was bad back in the day, you still had shoelace, or you had some players, or you had some so you had some team, you had a fight. They don't have that right now. I think the networks are trying to get out while they're getting this good. Look, Fox Big Noon Kickoff gave us a shot because they put us on against Minnesota.
They did,
if you remember, and they almost lost the game to Minnesota at the end. And if I'm on a major networks, I'm like,
right.
This isn't good for business. When you got a lot of good college football and a lot of matchups happening for the first time.
They took Gus away, man. We can't have Gus no more, man.
Damn, they got us on Big Ten Network. That's almost like being on Tubi.
That's right.
Tubi movies.
It's rough, man.
I kind of want to circle back to the Sherrone Moore thing about not being the right hire and stuff like that. And Maz, we really haven't gone at each other.
I got in trouble on USA for I ain't saying nothing.
So
you're right.
I just got to ask, though.
USA article.
Kalen DeBoer, right? Great job at Washington, correct? Alabama brings him in.
He's struggling now.
Of course.
At Washington, he was the man, though. Mm-hmm. Alabama brings him in. They kind of did what Michigan didn't. They went and got that big name. Not quite working out for them. So, I mean, as much as you want to go get that big name, there's no guarantee.
I know.
Look better than what it do.
I'm just telling you that I can tell you this. Sherrone Moore is not going to be the head coach long. He's not. He's an offensive line coach. Maybe, I don't know what else. He's just not a head coach.
I'd love to look up the history of the coaches, the guy after the guy. You know, like of a legendary.
They usually fail.
You have to fail, right? Otherwise, you're the guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't mind like the failing side of it, and you look at what Michigan lost, you know what I'm saying, and this is an excuse. I understand that there was going to be a major setback and a major kind of like restart, but just looking at it what it is, you know, you're talking about a guy in Kalen DeBoer that was vetted. He was vetted at Washington. He ran that program. He from start to finish, from training camp, winter camp, the whole 9 yards. Like it looks like a little bit of a struggle down in Alabama right now.
Driving an Alabama program into the ground's tough.
You lost to Vanderbilt, and that's disrespectful. But then
he almost lost again.
But then the key word is almost, and that's where a coach that comes in and knows what he's doing can kind of help you. Because if somebody else would have been the coach in that game, I guarantee you they lose to Arkansas as well, or South Carolina, excuse me. But they were able to escape, and that's the veteran leadership that he had out there in Washington. Look, it's ugly for both teams.
All it does is show me that elite coaches like Saban
don't exist
and
anymore.
Harbaugh, like, you got to give them a lot more credit than I think anybody ever does. Because to be that successful for that long, no matter what you do in life, like, you're seeing it. The next guy up is struggling. You're seeing it with Ryan Day. You know, Urban Meyer was the man.
That's because the parents trust those guys.
Yeah.
Parents, I don't know if they're trusting Sharon Moore. I don't know if they're trusting Jonathan Smith. I don't know. The proof is in the
trust
pudding.
him more than I trust Mel Tucker.
No, that's facts.
It's early,
But
like you said.
Yeah.
I'm not wishing a guy loses his job. But when he got hired, I was like, nah, that ain't it. From the get-go. And it shows me when
he
one
did
of his
coach
coaches
6 games last
year. One of his coaches
But he was handheld, though.
One of his coaches goes over and MFs, the fans and says, I'm going to, did you see that?
I did not.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a Nick Sirianni moment.
Yeah.
He did, one of his coaches or one?
Yeah.
He did.
One of the Michigan
one of the
coaches,
Michigan coaches.
one of the Michigan assistants went over to the stands
Washington.
in the Washington game and told the kids, you're going to, shut your mouth or whatever, we're going to pull you out of here. Or
STFU.
But he used a lot of different words. It was embarrassing. And
So you're saying that's Sharon Moore's fault?
It's his guys.
I mean,
I get it.
That
You're
don't
my
happen
guy,
under,
but if you go
that
off
don't
on
happen
somebody, I'm not
but
responsible
you think
for you.
that happened under a Saban,
or Harbaugh?
or
That ain't happening under Harbaugh.
or Dabo.
I seem to remember coaches getting involved in tunnel skirmishes.
That wasn't
under Harbaugh.
That was
a breakup,
different.
though. They broke it up. The kids getting
That was the players.
They were yelling.
That was the players.
No, go back and watch those video. Coaches were talking.
It's like, because one player versus 10.
Yeah.
I get it, but I'm just saying.
And State started it.
I'm just saying, I don't hold individuals responsible for other individuals' actions.
You're a grown man. Your actions. Your actions are your
I can't
actions.
control what Braylon does. Braylon gets pissed at Tyler over there taking a meeting right now. I can't stop Braylon from going over there and
Right.
slamming him.
But to Maz's point, it just seems like there's no real sense of control, and you wanted to see that with Sharon Moore coming out the gate. But
just look how it started.
He got left with nothing. He got left with 4 guys that are going to go pro.
Yeah.
After that, there's a whole nothing burger there.
Pretty much.
And next year could be worse than this year.
Yeah, we got to take a quick commercial break. Get to the last segment of the show. Pete, I heard you over there. Just to end this, look, Texas blew out Oklahoma. Texas still number 1, rightfully so.
Yep.
Oregon beat Ohio State, making them number 2. I think they're the best 2 teams in the country, 1 and 2. And then you drove Georgia, and they're probably 3rd. Penn State nipped USC. I don't think Penn State is as good as people thought they were.
They're hanging in there, though. They're unbeaten.
They beat a team we beat.
Good point.
They beat USC and so did Michigan,
point.
so I'm not giving them that. Let's get back.
And they had to go to overtime.
They did. I want to talk a little baseball because last night was a great night in baseball. And also, somebody went into the Hall of Fame in the NBA last night.
Yes, sir.
We'll bring that up. But first, let's get a message from the post-game show. That's right. You should be the one telling us about the post-game show.
Go ahead, tell us.
Hang on.
Hang on.
Give Pete a second.
Give me a second there. Here you go.
There we go.
Hey, that's me.
There we go.
I hate that Ryan chose that picture of me, but that's the one they picked.
It's better than Neil's picture. Hey, it's better than Neil's.
What?
The watch party goes on at Hayes Social, 21 Mile and Hayes Road in Shelby Township. That's where you're going to catch the heavyweights, watching the game live, and pretty much the whole dang crew shows up to it, too. We're out there. We're eating Soroki's pizza. We're drinking the Black Sabbath coffee. We're having the New Holland brews. And then, of course, 1800 Tequila is a part of that party as well. The post-game show follows with me and Anson. We got the phones working this week, man.
Yeah.
Take it.
Alexander Graham Bell.
I love the phones.
You love the phones. He loves the phones.
Who don't love the
Shout out
phones?
Alexander Graham Bell.
Yeah, and we love when you guys get involved. So, fun time. If you can't make it out to the post game, why don't you call in and be a part of it? Hayes Social, 21 Miles and Hayes. Come out every Lions game.
Shout out to Pete for the Alexander Graham Bell right there. Remember Bell South back in
Bell
the day?
South,
Bell
baby.
South.
Come on,
That's how old I am.
Ameritech.
Right,
like what? Yeah.
Sell
Ameritech came out with the caller ID. They were the first ones with the caller ID. I remember.
That was a separate box.
It was a separate box. I remember the digital box.
Oh, my God.
You used to sell ID boxes?
Dude, I used to give customers an option between nickel
used to sell
cadmium
ID
batteries and lithium-ion batteries, baby.
I'll never forget my dad picking up the phone call and being like, "Hi, Jim," when his buddy was calling, and Jim being like,
I forgot about
How about star? What is it? Star 69?
Star 69.
Star
Yeah.
69.
Star 67 to block my
Star
stuff.
67 to block. Star 69 to call back.
69.
I had a lot of Star 69 back in the day. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Scan this QR code above my head right now because you get a chance to not only win a bet, but if you lose that bet, you get your money back in the bonus bet. And that is Caesar Sportsbook, the sportsbook of Woodward Sports. But you got to use the code word, and the code word is Woodward 1000. Make sure that's in all caps, Woodward 1000. Download it today, the Caesar Sportsbook app, the official app, like I said. With that being said, minimum just $20 to get you started, man. Look, got a lot of bets going, a lot of time. You want to go to Hayes Social, you want to go party with Stick and Ass, and before you go there, go to Caesar Sportsbook, make yourself a bet so you can win yourself some cash. Holidays are coming up.
Hey, and shout out to the homie Stick who is rocking a beautiful Woodward baseball hoodie, man. Y'all see it, man. Y'all can't get the Dad Gang hat, but you can get this hoodie if you go to woodwardsports.com and click that shop tab. You're a little bum on baseball. We understand. The Tigers, you know, they had a great season and all, but we got basketball, we got football, we got hockey, we got everything that you need. Hoodies, tees, hats, everything. Go to woodwardsports.com and click that shop tab.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
And you know, if I'm doing the read, it's probably more alcohol, man. So 1800 Tequila, the official tequila of Woodward Sports, Lions watch parties, and post-game show. And bring back the bottle with the cap that you can drink it out the cap, man. That was the best.
They got that.
But do they still?
Yeah.
I haven't seen
post-game show.
Oh, no, but that had the regular cap, the gray cap. But
You
anyway.
can drink out of that cap.
Well, it's not the glass cap, though. Okay. I'm talking about throwback. You know, they don't know, man. But join 1800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every Lions game live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township and celebrate the wins with Smooth 1800 Tequila. Proud sponsor of your and our Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila, the best taste in tequila, and please drink responsibly.
All right, now we got to switch it over to the Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan, the 3C Sports League. You got to join the best youth football league in Detroit. We're getting the kids out of the house, getting them outside, man. Put the youth back into youth sports. Offers youth ages 5 to 14 to 6 exciting teams to choose from in the cities of Detroit, Belleville, Highland Park, and East Point. And look, we had these guys in. Chris Cowles was here last week, and he told us they are very serious about the background check. So your kids are in good hands. Register for football or cheer at bgcsm.org. Equipment, meals, transportation, all included for a chance to play it. You guessed it, Ford Field, the home of the Kings in the North, the Detroit Lions. And after this season, they'll be the Super Bowl winners. Put the youth back in U Sports, man, with 3C Sports League.
Yeah, this Saturday is actually the championship.
It is.
Kool-Aid going down there with Kid Kool-Aid.
It's early, too. What time is it? It's
Kid Kool-Aid.
Yeah, Kid Kool-Aid's going down there. We're coming up with a cool thing. It's going to be like Woodward Sports Junior. Kid Kool-Aid's going to cover
I love
the
it.
PXL,
Nice.
those championship games like he's working for us. So
Okay.
Kool-Aid's kid's going to be doing some coverage for us on those games
I
on
love that.
Saturday.
The Kool-Aid packets.
And then on Friday, I get to do the Cass King game in Ford Field.
Sweet.
they're playing again. That's right.
Championship, PSL championship game.
What time is? Hold on. That's Friday.
7 o'clock. Yep, 7 o'clock Friday. And then Denby's playing before that.
My dad taught at Denby CP. My dad taught computer applications there for the better part of 10 years.
But I love calling Cass King games, man.
Ooh, what was it? The one year was the Hail Mary.
Yep.
What's his name? Went to Michigan State, and neither here nor there, but Hail Mary caught the end of the game. I might have to check that out. I went to King, so
I know you did. We got to get you in the booth, man. Do some sideline reporting.
7:30 on Friday. What's going on? Is there any games Friday? Well, it's probably baseball be Friday.
Oh, yeah.
That's about it.
We'll see. We definitely will see. But anyway, we teased it before we went to break. Chauncey Billups, big shot Billups. Chauncey officially went to the Hall of Fame last night. Congrats to him, man. You know, one of the consummate pros in this game. One of these great people all together. I've known him a very long time, so shout out to him. And he had a lot of thank yous to give. We got a little of those here.
Coach Larry Brown, who was supposed to be here with me tonight. Unfortunately, you're not here. I know you're watching. Coach, I love you. Nobody demanded more out of me than you. Nobody made me better than you. Nobody is still helping me more than you. I got any questions, I call you. LB, I love you, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. Detroit. What up, though? If you know, you know. Look at my big man. We always in sync. He got him on, too. Joe D, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for seeing something in me that most people didn't at the time. All right? It was in Motown that I joined forces with some other really, really talented players that were also looking for a chance to prove that they were winners. My brothers, Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, Rasheed Wallace, and my big fella right here, Ben Wallace. We affectionately called ourselves the best five alive, and nobody was going to tell us nothing different. I can go on forever about what Detroit means to me, but I would just say this. It was in Detroit where I became an NBA champion. And it was in Detroit where I became Mr. Big Shot. It was in Detroit where I finally became an all-star. It was in Detroit where I became known as a winner, which is all I ever wanted. And it was in Detroit where that #1 jersey is hanging in the rafters. I never thought I needed a second home, but in Detroit, I have one. Thank you, Pistons fans, and thank you, Detroit.
Shout out to Chauncey Billups, man. Like, he was one of those guys. I met Chauncey in 2003.
Look at the chills.
I met him in 2003 and told him I told him I watched him in '95 in the NCAA tournament when he was at Colorado. We kind of hit it off from there, but he just always gave me advice, man. He was a pro. Like, he was one of those guys like Jerry Stackhouse. He wouldn't let me drink at parties. He was like, yo, don't chase those girls. Chase touchdowns. Chase the books. You know, and when he got his Bentley coupe, I made sure my first car was a Bentley coupe as well, man. So shout out to Mr. Big Shot. He meant a lot to the city of Detroit, man. Kudos. Well deserved. Well, it's really good to see people get into the Hall of Fame that deserve it, but on every level, not just sport. Like, he's a Hall of Famer in everywhere. He's classy. He's a classy individual, man. He's just one of those guys that you're happy represent your city.
I just got a big smile on my face watching that. And as you mentioned, you get goosebumps. You know, him thanking Larry Brown, like that marriage together was just so special. Larry Brown being, a good point guard in his day. He had 20 assists plus in one ABA game when Larry Brown was playing.
I forget we did in college, too.
But for Chauncey to come here after being the number 3 overall pick in Boston, then being shipped to Minnesota, just not getting the love he deserved.
Toronto.
And then to land here with a guy like Larry Brown who cultivates point guards, and for him to be willing to take that coaching, right? Yeah. It's not about the coach being able to do it. It's about you being able to understand, this guy has my best interest at heart. Even though I don't agree with this, even though this may not be something I want to do, I see the bigger picture. And it was just the perfect blend here for Chauncey Billups in Detroit. Him being Mr. Big Shot, him finding Rip off those screens in perfect unison. He just meant so much to this team, and for him to speak so highly of Detroit, that's the apex of being an athlete, right?
Yeah.
You're grown in another city. Obviously, like the Aiden Hutchinson story, you're playing in the city you're born. That's awesome too. But you go someplace and you get accepted and adopted as one of their own, to the point where he's not throwing up Colorado stuff. He's throwing on buffs when he's getting into the Hall of Fame, and it's just very special moment. The best 5 alive. I love those guys. I love that team. People in the chat are like, man, they look old. That was 20 years ago, guys. That was 20 years ago.
I think they could beat the current Piston team, though.
First of all, don't. I think these kids today, they see white hair and they instantly think, oh, I guarantee you none of y'all want to try Ben Wallace in these streets.
Big fact.
That's all I'm saying.
Big fact.
That's all I'm saying.
And this is the stuff I hate, though, too, and I don't like to let the chat
it's
get me
4
too
o'clock,
fired up.
But fired up.
Joe Dumars messed up. Yeah, okay, Joe Dumars didn't draft Melo, but Joe Dumars also brought Chauncey here. He also traded for Rip. He drafted Tayshaun. He traded for Ben Wallace. He went and got Rasheed, too.
6 straight Eastern Conference Finals.
And we would kill for that today, so I'm glad to see him getting some love there, too. The slander for Joe D in this town is unwarranted, and I will smack anybody down anytime it pops up.
All right, quick. We got about 20 seconds. Time matters away. Subway Series looks like it could be.
We'll see,
New York Mets and the New York Yankees.
We'll see.
Who you got tonight?
Great.
Mets
and the
and
rest
Dodgers,
of America will be bored.
Mets and Dodgers tied at 1 game apiece in the NLCS. They'll play Game 3 tomorrow at Citi Field in New York. And the Yankees and the Yankees and the who are they playing? The Guardians. That's right.
Boo.
Those sons of guns. They played tonight at Yankee Stadium. Yankees beat them last night. The Guardians.
Everybody hit a home run last night.
Everyone was good last night. Soto, Stanton, what a swing. It's a fun series. You should watch it. Good baseball.
Stanton showing up like A-Rod finally did in 2009.
Bam.
It seems like this is Stanton's year. Look, man, we appreciate you guys for tuning in to Woodward Sports Network. This is the #1 sports network in the state.
Check
and
the
we're going to
stats.
further that thing. You better check those stats. Appreciate my man Stick filling in. KG,
my dog.
P Spivak to the right. Time Mazaway. Love
we're
you.
5 minutes over Ryan time.
Hey,
We actually hit it at 4.
Sorry, guys.
We're doing it like it's supposed to be done, man. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.